Hi there, welcome back again to this channel. The first thing you'll be needing is all your blazer's measurements from the chest, bicep, length, arm, wrist, neck, hip, waist, sleeve, shoulder and your bust span measurements as you can see on the screen. So you have to measure everything to making sure both your shoulder to shoulder lines, from your upper line to your under bust, every other measurements. So this is just the basic bodies for this. This is, as you can see, I already outlined all lines together also for the shoulder line. So you can see I will just be going into details on how you go about the measurements all over again. So pay attention if you know this video is for you. And this is the shoulder to shoulder lines now, which is 14 inches. I'll just be going down here, which is for the shoulder slope. Remember, I am working with armhole of 13 inches, so I'll just go down here by 1 inches and then I'll connect it directly from here to the neck width, as you can see me using my pattern master. So I'll outline that now using this marker. Now I will quickly explain things to you now. You can see this extra space here. This is, you can go out by 4 to 5 inches depending on how wide you want your lapel and your spacing to be. This is the front bodies, as you can see. So on this down part, I will go out by 1 inches. This will be for the extra inches for your blazers. So on the waistline, on your waistline you go up by 2 inches. So because of the size I am working on, I'll just go up by 1.5 inches. I would advise, if the size you're working on is more than 18 years old and the length, because of the length, you go up from the waistline by 2 inches. So I'll just be connecting this now to the upper side, as you can see, and it will stand as the break point of these blazers. From this shoulder line, I'll go up again. You can see the extra sheet I added to that. So I'll go up here by 2 bar or 1/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch, I will go up by it on the shoulder line. So just make sure your shoulder slope is there before you outline the 1/4 of an inch. So I'll also be going on the side of the shoulder, which is the armhole area. You can see the way I'm doing that. So I'll go out again by 1/4 of an inch. So on this down part of the armhole line, so this is why you also have, measured all your bodies before doing all this adjustment. So this is just so your suit will be looking outstanding and it will be on the suit, because we're going to be attaching some things underneath the suit, inside the suit. So you wouldn't want it to be like just a normal top or blouse. So that is why I am adding all this to it. So remember, on this side you'll be adding half of an inch on the under armhole after your actual armhole measurement. So on this other side, I'll go out here by 1.5 inches, but you can go in by 2 inches if you're working with a big size, more bigger size than this. So as I said before, I'll also go up from this bust point. You can see the bust point by 2 inches to the shoulder line, you can see. So I'll just connect that 1.5 inches I just outlined to that 2 inches, so it will serve as like a guide to our lapel. So you see the way I'm doing that. So now from here, now I'll connect it. This will be the break line where every other outlines will stop. So you can see that. So I'll also be connecting it from that new line now to this line. So this will serve as the breaking line to all connections from the upper side of the jacket. So I'll outline this straight so you can see the way it is. So it's not really that straight. You can see the way it's curvy, the way I did it, like so. So now this is a extra sheet. You can see the extra sheet I already placed on the upper side. So I'm just going to be working on the direct measurement now. From the armhole, I'll connect it to this new 1/4 of an inch I went out from, connecting it downwards to the half of an inch I went down with on the under the armhole. So after doing this, the next thing we'll be doing is outlining where our lapel will be. So from this neck depth, this is the neck depth. Now you go out by 2 inches. You can go out by 3 inches. 2 to 3 inches is okay if you don't want it to be too wide. So I'll just be going out by 2 inches from the neck depth, and then I'll curve my pattern master like so. You can see the way I'm curving it. I'll then meet it up to that breaking point on that before the waistline I talked about the other time. So you can see the way I curve that. So you can see how curvy that is, really giving the lapel design. So you can as well go out. I will just be sketching that out now, so it is giving me the view I want it to look like. So now I'll come down here. Now here will be the I'll just be, you know, outlining the all the lines I have input in this on this pattern. So this here, I'll just start by taking the full body measurement, which is from the chest line downwards to the, you know, to the other, to the down part of the blouse. So but before doing that, I will outline the shape I want to bring out here, which is the princess dart. So if you want to add a dart, so you place your pattern master like so, you directly connect it from your half armhole to this to the bust point, which is your bust palm. So now after doing that, the next thing I will do is taking our full body measurements, which is from the bust line, and whatever measurement you're taking, you'll be adding extra 1.5 inches. This will serve as the seam allowance and also as a ease. So ease will be for half of an inch and the seam allowance will be for 1 inches. And whatever that you have, you don't forget to attach your that intake to it on the waistline. So I'll just be attaching 1 inches to the actual waist measurement before attaching the 1.5 inches for ease and sewing and seam allowance. So you do likewise to the hip line. You measure it, just make sure you're measuring it. You're not measuring it from the extra outlines we did. Just measure it from the actual midpoint, which is from your body's, exactly from your body's midpoint, so you don't make any mistake or have any shortage after your tailor. So now I'll just do that quickly, take all round measurement and I'll outline everything. After doing that, the next thing I will do now is covering the side because it's not going to be straight. So I'm just going to go up here by 1 inches and then I'll connect it using my pattern master like so. And also on the midpoint also is not really straight. I'm just going to be giving it that curve also, that shape. You can go up by 3 inches for a guide. So you just use your the curvy hand, which is your free hand, to do that so you don't make any mess up there. So now back to the upper side of the blazers, which is going to be the collar stand before the lapel. This is why I have place this paper, this white paper underneath. So before doing that, I will go back to the back of this body. So you can see the way I already outlined all measurements for this back bodies, which is the block for the blazers we are making. So now what I'm going to be doing here is a little different from the front body. So from this from the armhole area, you go up by 3 inches before connecting it. So on the midpoint of this back, on the waist side, you go in by half of an inch and then you connect it from the down part to the midpoint, and also from the chest, from the bust line to the midpoint. So I'm just going to be transferring the 1/4 of an inch just as I have done for the front. So I'll connect it also using the pattern master, and then I'll connect all lines together. Also on the armhole, don't forget I went down with half of an inch on the armhole area, which I'm also going to be doing on the back bodies as well. So I'll just be connecting all lines and also add 1.5 inches on all the measurement, the round measurement of this tutorial. So now of the back bodies, so now I'll just be outlining all lines together, and don't forget to also add your 1.5 inches for ease, and also your that intake, the measurement you added to it, so you had it, and then you're good to go. And then I will be connecting all lines together from the upper line downwards to the down of the blouse of the blazer. So don't also forget to add your side curve to this. So now from here, now I will measure the neck depth. You can see the way I'm doing that, which is the back neckline measurement. So just make sure you get the accurate from the shoulder width, which is from the neck width downwards to the neck depth. So whatever you get there will serve as the collar stand for the blazer. So I got 3.5 inches and then with 1 bar. So this now will give me a guide to go back to the front body. So I'll take that now, I'll bring it and then I'll start by working on that. So this is the line. So this line now is counterfeit. This is just as a guide then to outline our break line. So now after doing this, remember I said I added this paper, this pattern paper underneath just for the collar stand we're going to be making. So you make sure you are also slanting your measuring tape the way you see me doing. So you outline the 3.5 inches and half and 1 bar to it, just as you can see me doing. You can as well get maybe 4 inches. So whatever you're getting, make sure you rule it out like so. So you can see the way I'm also doing that. It's not really curvy, so it's not really straight, so you just make sure you connect it to the neckline, you connect it back, you make sure you align it back to the neckline like so, because and back line is not really straight. So this is why I'm doing that. So you can see the way it's a bit slant, not really straight. So from there now you go out by 2.5 inches. So this is 2.5 inches. You can as well go in by 3 inches depending on the size you're measuring. So you're fit to go in from 2.5 inches to 3 inches thereabout. So that's just the standard for it. So on this line now, I'll go in. This line now, you can see the way it is. I'll go in by 1 inches as well. So you go in by 1 inches, and also you go up from that 1 inches, you go up again by 1 inches. Also you can go in by 3/4 of an inch depending on how wide you want that to be. So this is just a break line from the lapel to the collar stand. So I'll then connect the collar stand like so. So this is just a guide. So you'll still be connecting from the upper 1 inches to that center neck depth. You can see the way I outlined that. So I'll outline this now using my pattern master. Just make sure it is also curvy, following the lines of your neckline. So you can as well leave it like this, but I will be connecting it from that upper 1 inches down to the 2 inches, 2.5 inches I went out with from my from the neck depth, the midpoint of the neck depth. So this is the back bodice. Now I'm just going to be outlining the princess seam to the shoulder line, to the armhole line. From your armhole line, you go up by 3 inches and then you just connect it, the princess, that like so. You can see the way I'm doing that. So it's just a little bit different from the back body. So you connect it directly from that armhole area down to your bust point. So now I'm just going to be cutting this out. Note, before cutting this out, you add extra 1/2 inch, and I'm going to be cutting 2-piece with this pattern, which is the back pattern. And note, you're going to be adding extra 1.5 inches to the body size. If the length of what you're making is 22 inches, adding extra 2 inches to make it 24 inches will be 1 inches as the sewing allowance, and extra 1 inches for the lining you're going to be putting. Do you understand me? Because the lining is going to be shorter from the main fabric by 1 inches. I hope you understand now what I just explained. So I'll cut this out now and then we are good.
Your smile lit up like a sunrise glow, touch so soft with a sea.
Like this video. If you haven't liked it so far, comment under this video where you're watching this video from. And also, if you are an old subscriber, tell me where you're watching this video from so I can give you a shout out in my next video. If you also want to see the part 2 of the sewing tutorial of these patterns, stay tuned. You turn your notification bell on to get notified when I upload the part 2 of this video, telling you full details of the kind of material to use for your lining, and also everything you need in details, what will be inside your blazers. So stay tuned guys, until I see you again in the next one. Bye and stay blessed.